said he was too late in life, too old to start again, too far behind to matter. They said the window had closed, that the train had already left the station, that life had moved on without him. And maybe they didn't say it out loud. Maybe they didn't have to. He heard it in their silence, in the way conversations changed, in the way people stopped asking about his plans. At his age, they said, you should already be settled, already successful, already certain about who you are and where you're going. But he wasn't. And that made people uncomfortable. Because uncertainty at a certain age feels like failure to the outside world. They compared him to timelines that weren't his, milestones he never agreed to, lives that looked complete on the surface but felt empty underneath. They didn't see the full picture. They never do. What they didn't see were the nights he stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, counting years like mistakes. Every, I should have started earlier. Every, if only I knew then what I know now. Every memory replayed with regret attached to it. Starting late doesn't feel brave. It doesn't feel inspiring. It feels embarrassing. It feels like walking into a room where everyone else already knows what they're doing. It feels like being behind in a race you didn't even know you were running. He blamed himself for waiting too long, for playing it safe, for listening to voices that weren't his own. And sometimes he almost believed them, that it was too late, that the damage was already done, that whatever chance he had slipped quietly through his fingers. But deep down, there was still something alive inside him. Not confidence, not motivation, just a quiet refusal to accept that this was the end of the story. Because here's the truth no one talks about. Time doesn't stop just because you're afraid to move. 5 years will pass anyway. 10 years will pass anyway. The question isn't, am I too late? The real question is, when I look back, will I regret not trying? That thought stayed with him. And one day, the fear of staying the same became heavier than the fear of starting again. So he began. Not loudly, not confidently, not with a big announcement. He started in silence. Small steps, unimpressive progress, unseen effort. While others were posting results, he was building foundations. While others were talking, he was learning. While others were judging, he was working. There was no applause, no encouragement, no one clapping from the sidelines. Just discipline and patience. And the uncomfortable feeling of being new at something when you're not supposed to be. Some days he doubted himself. Some days he wanted to quit. But he kept going. Because starting late gave him something early starters never had. Clarity. He knew exactly why he was there. He knew what failure felt like. He knew the cost of waiting. And slowly, something began to change. Not the world around him, not other people's opinions. Him. He stopped racing people who started before him. He stopped explaining himself to people who wouldn't understand. He stopped asking for permission to become who he was meant to be. He learned that life doesn't run on one clock. There is no universal deadline. No final age for becoming. Some people bloom early, some bloom late. But late bloomers don't bloom weaker. They bloom with intention, with depth, with purpose. They don't waste momentum because they know what it's like to waste time. They said he was too late in life, but what they didn't know was that this wasn't an ending. It was a second chapter, and second chapters are written with more honesty, more courage, more meaning. If you feel late, this story is for you. Your time hasn't passed, your story isn't over, and this is only the beginning.